Welcome everybody to the 2018 Canadian National Championships. My name's Tim Baghurst and I'm joined for this last match of the day by Mitch Braley. Mitch, been an interesting start to the day given that we've had 3 days of doubles and now we switch into singles. It's quite a different dynamic.
It is, yeah. It looks like all the players were fairly acclimatized to the court. We had a few fairly one-sided matches, which you usually expect to see a few of on day one here. The top seeds seem to get through most of their matches with relative ease. They all played well, experimented with some shots, worked in their serves. So there's some high-level play from those seeds, but still some good racquetball to come.
Well, what we're waiting for is a match between the 10th seed, Trevor Webb, who you're looking at, and Lee Connell, the 7th seed. I thought Connell was ready. I'm not sure where he went. Looks like our official will be Cal Smith. You can see Trevor Webb on the court. We talked about this yesterday. They were playing doubles together, Connell and Webb. Webb went down on the left side with an ankle injury. It's going to be interesting to see how he moves today.
I actually saw him going back to the hotel briefly. He was limping on it pretty good. Talked to him about it. He said it's still hurting quite a bit. He said it's definitely going to affect him here. So see if he's able to mentally tough it out, or if it's going to be really affecting his movement, especially because Lee Connell's a tough player, not a pushover. It's going to be a tough mental battle for him.
Well, put yourselves in the shoes of Webb in that situation. Do you change the way you play? Do you maybe go for a little bit more and hope that you roll them out? Or you still just play the way you do, which is, you know, smart shot selection and try not to skip it, but maybe the rallies are a little bit longer?
Well, he actually said to me going into this that his plan was to drive serve really well. So he knows if he's serving well and getting a weaker turn, it's going to be less strain on that ankle. He's not going to have long rallies. That's his goal, is 3-shot rallies, short rallies, so he's not having to move around a lot. And hopefully the ankle isn't as big of a factor as Lee Connell would like it to be.
Well, if we're going on paper, Lee Connell should be the one winning this match anyway. We haven't seen any upsets in the men's side today.
No, we haven't. The top seeds they've been playing tough. There's been a couple close games here and there, but they've been able to get their shot they need to and close out the matches fairly effectively.
And if we go over to the women's draw, we also see that the higher seeds, with the exception of Cassie Prentice, the 9th seed overcoming Cher Allen, the 8th seed, everyone else is moving on target as well until exactly Erin Girard overcame Alexis Iwasa, 6th seed, over the 3rd seed, 11-9 in the tiebreaker. What a match that was.
It's interesting to note they're both from Alberta. They played in our provincial championships a couple months ago, and Alexis Iwasa won that one in a 12-10 tiebreaker. So the last couple matches they played have been, down to the wire, tooth and nail tiebreakers. So I think they'll have a lot of battles for years to come.
We've mentioned how many of these players have actually played each other for many, many years. And we were talking, for example, about Morissette and Drury, who played doubles together in World Juniors. And you play each other pretty much every year in juniors, and now you find yourselves in the adult division and you're still playing each other. You know each other's games pretty well. Do you just continue playing the way you play, or do you start to, you know what, I'm going to try something different because last time we played it didn't work?
I think with a lot of these players and growing up as top juniors, they're all, one thing, they're very well coached. So over the years they've made notes and they know the holes and the weaknesses in each other's games. So I think coming in, they have a strategy they stick to. They pick on those holes if they can. If it's something that player's improved on in the few months since they faced each other, then they switch up their game plan. But for the most part, it's the same strategy, same game plan until their opponent's able to make them do something different.
Well, I was just trying to find out why the delay. We're ready to go. We're sitting here ready. All the fans are here. The official is here. Says, okay, let's get this started. But this is classified as a 4 p.m. start. and so players are entitled to start at 4 p.m. So my guess is that one of these players is elected to start at 4 p.m. I'm not sure who that is, so looks like we have a few minutes of downtime. We're going to leave the feed running, and we're going to come back when everyone's ready to play. And we're back. Looks like we're ready to go. Mitch Braley, Tim Baghurst, looking forward to this match. Again, it's going to be interesting given the injury experienced by Trevor Webb yesterday. And you kind of feel bad for Lee Connell as well, knowing that this was my doubles partner and it happened during a match we were playing.
I think so, and you know, Lee Connell, a very fair, really honest, good player. So I think it's going to be, you know, mentally for him too. He knows he's got an injured doubles partner and friend to make sure he sticks to his game plan and still stays tough.
Wow, look at that from Trevor Webb. Great way to start this match. Kind of feel with Connell, maybe he should change his game plan, knowing that Webb is not as mobile as normal. You know, hit some clean lanes down the lines, make him move left to right, front to back, as opposed to just going for those kill shots. But that's not the way Connell plays.
No, I mean, I think it's going to be crucial for him to just play really clean racquetball. I mean, the more he can just prolong those rallies, hit some good passes, and make Trevor Webb move, he's going to be probably in the driver's seat for the duration of this match.
Connell, a very vocal player, very fiery player. It's always fun to watch as a fan.
Very different from Webb, who tends to be very reserved and quiet and doesn't say too much, doesn't get too emotional out there.
Except maybe a bad call. We've seen some of those this week.
That's fair enough.
His version of a bad call. We'll have to say that too.
His interpretation of it?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we settle into this game. Back and forth it started. And a point for Webb. This is exactly what he wanted. It's clean from Connell. Ball kicked out off the back wall. There's that example of just going for it, right? Doesn't necessarily have to do that.
No, even if he, you know, left that ball up a couple feet, pushing the back court, now you're making Webb move, put pressure on that ankle.
Wow, great diving get, Connell. And again. Long rally. Webb going to to the ceiling yet again. Well, terrific effort from both players. You saw Webb going to the ceiling multiple times, kind of baiting Connell into, hey, hit another shot, hoping for perhaps a skip, but not that time.
No, when those first 3-4 shots that Connell hit, Webb didn't leave center court at all, and it was just Connell constantly feeding it back to him, not making a move.
That's clean from Webb. Again, ball coming way off the back wall on that serve. Sometimes better to have a short serve as opposed to that.
Especially with the 2-serve rule we have here.
Wow, great serve. This is the start Webb wanted.
He's been serving great so far. Ace, free point, that's what you want at that angle especially.
And there's an example where Webb, you thought that he was going to get there and just kind of pulled up.
Yeah, you know what, I think without the ankle injury there, you 100% would have had that ball, but that's tough as a player to know that you can get that, but just aren't able to.
It's beautiful, soft forehand pinch from Webb. Sometimes players get too excited and try to hit that too hard.
And that's what we saw yesterday in his doubles too. He's a smart player. He never tries to overhit the ball. He just makes the correct shot at a good pace.
Rare skip from Webb. It's been a slow start to this game.
A little bit of back and forth here, trying to settle in, feel each other out.
There's a great example where Webb could have asked for a screen. Ball came across the middle, is very close, but he liked what he saw, so he went for it.
Sometimes, yeah, better idea to just, if it's an easy shot, take it, end the rally, and don't have to deal with whatever serve your opponent's going to throw at you after that.
Again, the serve from Webb a little high, punished by Connell, who went straight back down the line. Oh my goodness. Connell manages to get it back to the front wall, earns a point for his effort. Beautiful shot from Webb. Z serve, Z serve came up a little short.
Yeah, no, Connell's had a tough time finding a good serve that works and putting any pressure on Webb so far.
This time Webb goes to the right, same result. Connell smashes it back down the right side. Wide angle from Connell earns him a point. All square at 2-2. Wow, it looked like Connell was appealing a screen.
Doesn't want to take it after that shot. Great hands.
Jam serve, forcing Webb to move his feet. Another point for Connell. 4 in a row. You can see Webb doesn't like it. Probably the right call. He looked clear.
I thought so too. I think it replays the perfect call there from Cal Smith.
Well, it's important that Webb keeps his composure here. It's easy to get down on yourself and start blaming the injury and, well, this is going to happen, I've lost it. It's important to just focus on the next point and just accept that sometimes you're not going to hit the shot that you want to hit.
Yeah, it's interesting the mental dynamic it brings in, and you get sucked into that. A little bit of doubt you have in the back of your mind that maybe I can't win this. Maybe this injury is gonna be the difference here, and he can't think that way if he wants to have a shot.
Again, though, Webb frustrated. His serve isn't working right now. He's had the one ace, but so many side outs have come from that ball flying off the back wall. Connell just drilling it down the wall.
Yeah, and Connell looks to have settled in here now. 5 unanswered points. He's starting to shoot really well and hit those lanes.
Again, that forehand, he's kind of pushing that forehand. I'd like to see him really hit that.
Yeah, it looks like he's easing off it. Maybe it's the ankle. He doesn't want to put any weight on it. That's my guess, because normally you see him step into that with confidence.
Well, you saw him step into a couple of those shots, and it certainly worked.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just starting to get more confidence. Maybe he's seen the ankle's not affecting as much as he thought, and that's a couple of great shots to get back in the service box.
Looks like he's going away from that drive serve. It hasn't been successful so far. And that's just smooth. Almost casual, but it's just perfect.
And that's what he has to do. He has to, get that weak return and finish on that third shot. Not have to run around, not have to move a lot.
But look at Connell rip that one for a winner. Shot from Webb across to the left. Starting to get back in this match. Sticking with the lob serve. Sticking with a lob serve to the right. He gets a loose return. Wow, well done. That looked awkward.
Great hands, though, to have that presence of mind, just to stay with it and just tap it into that corner.
You could see his movement visibly affected by that ankle. Connell's forehand seems to be working pretty well today.
He hasn't missed a lot now. There's a few early on when Webb had that 2-0 lead, but ever since then, Connell's been executing really well on that right side.
Wow. Beautiful hands from Trevor Webb. Side out for serving 6. Great get from Webb off the back glass. Look at that again, a forehand winner from Connell. Of course, I say that, and huge skip up by the short line.
I was just going to say those forehands he's been putting away haven't really been tough shots either. I mean, they've been setups from Webb, and that one was there too, and Webb fortunate enough to get that skip.
Webb sticking to this serve down the right. And again, Connell rips another winner. Wonder how long we'll see that, maybe switching over to try the backhand.
I think at this point, I mean, he's used that serve, had a bit of effectiveness, but looks like Connell's starting to dial in, so he's going to need to change it up here again and keep him off balance.
Webb just seems a little flat right now. Like to see him a little bit more animated, a little bit more energetic, even if he can't move very well. He earns a point from the drive serve. You said he's a very calm player. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to act calm externally. Sometimes you need to show your opponent that you're in this match, you want to win. You're not just there being part of the match.
And especially with that injury too, you don't want Connell at all thinking that, you know, you're down and out, you're coming in thinking you're going to lose this. You want to show that you're competitive, you're here to play, and you're going to give it 110% every single rally.
Well, a couple of quick points for Webb puts him at 6 serving 7. You saw Connell fly across the floor. Really a risky dive. I mean, you're going right into that wall. Got to be careful in those situations because players have, you know, hurt a shoulder or something like that, diving across as opposed to forward or at an angle.
Especially with these courts here, I mean, they're finished service, so they can get so slippery. So any dive into the wall, you run the risk of hitting that wall, coming in extremely hot, and potential's there to get an injury. Especially at this point in the game, you really don't want to be risking that.
Well, that's not the type of player Connell is. He goes for everything all the time.
No, definitely not. You have to respect him for that. He doesn't play any loose or unfocused points.
Absolutely. It's also why he's ranked number 7 in this tournament.
Absolutely, and that's why he's and he plays like it too. I mean, he's always a great competitor. You know, he gets vocal sometimes, but he's one player you can watch, and he'll never give up, regardless if he's down 1-0, down 14-0.
Well, there's the backhand, the lob serve to the backhand, and it was pretty loose on the return.
And Webb punished him for it. That's what he has to do.
Serves to the forehand. Side out, Connell. Reminder, this is a round of 16 match. Connell. Soft hands from Webb. Really has quick reactions. Connell had opportunities, didn't put it down.
Yeah, he's probably kicking himself for that. He could have won that rally 2 or 3 times.
He loves that forehand pinch. He's hit that a lot today, very accurately too.
No, if I'm Webb, the last shot I want to give Connell is that anything on that forehand side, for the matter, everything should be on that left side. Put some pressure on. He's been just on fire with that forehand lately.
It's still 7-8. What a serve, Connell. Looks left, hits it right. Webb flies to the right as best he can. Ace serve, 8 serving 8. Webb just cleans his glasses in the back. Looks like Connell will take a mini timeout and clean his too. While they're doing that, just a reminder, this is a round of 16 Canadian National Championships. The winner will play either Fratinger, the 15th seed, or Iwasa, the 2nd seed. They play later tonight. Great hands from Connell to keep it alive. And Webb skips the ball. Great example of just get the ball back onto the front wall sometimes and just you never know what might happen.
And you can see from Webb's expression, his body language, his shoulders are slumped forward a bit. Looks like he's a little bit dejected and frustrated with himself right now.
That's a good shot, says Connell. Webb stretching out to the right, flicking it with his wrist. These two were doubles partners yesterday. So interesting to see. We play together. Now we play against each other 24 hours later.
A friend to foe in less than a day.
"29 minutes into this match, and it's 9 serving 8.
It's been closer than I expected with that injury from Webb, so props to him for staying tough.
3 points, I believe, was the largest lead we've had in this first game. But Webb skips that one. We might see a timeout here. And on cue, good timing. Webb takes a timeout. It's 11-8. We're going to take a little timeout ourselves. We'll be back as Connell tries to close out game number 1. And we're back in. Tim Baghurst joined by Mitch Braley. Timeout is complete, taken by Webb. 11-8's the score. Make that 12-8. Webb just seems a little flat, a little lethargic, head down. I don't usually see him like this. Yeah, you're right. He's pretty calm most of the time, but he does get animated.
He does, yeah. It's uncharacteristic to see him this, out this early on. I mean, it's only 12-8. You're only separated by 4 points, and really he hasn't executed his game plan as well I'd like to. So he's right in this game. If he stays in it, gets a couple points here, he can definitely, tie this up rather quickly here.
Well, we saw an avoidable hinder called before it even happened. Our official, Cal Smith, saw it. Now there's a little fist pump from Webb. That's what we want to see. Just, yeah, I can do this. I can compete here.
Shows Connell, too, his opponent, that he's still here to play, and he's going to be tough.
I'd really like to see Webb actually get that jam serve in. I think it could cause Connell all kinds of problems. It did in the doubles when they wrapped that ball around.
I think so too. Even if you get a couple of easy points here, this tight in the first game, just has to execute.
Here's an opportunity, and he does it perfectly. Oh, man. Well, you saw the expression from Webb. I think that was a good serve.
I couldn't tell from here. It looked like it may have just clipped the line, but it was very close. But I guess it doesn't matter what we think, what Webb thinks. That's why Cal Smith's public ends up counting.
Another forehand winner. Hitting it consistently in game one.
That's been his front corner this entire game. I think he's only missed 1 or 2 shots there at the most.
So Webb kind of has a couple of choices. Either don't hit it to that side or cover that pinch knowing that that's where Connell wants to go. Okay, so that's an interesting call. Don't take the shot. What's your take on that? Because if you do take the shot, but you're trying to hold up at the same time, are you going to get blamed? Because, Connell was clearly impeded there.
He was. It's tough to say. I mean, let's say, had he made that shot, hit a winner, would he still want the replay, or would he have taken it? So I think it depends on what the player would have done regardless of the outcome of the shot.
Well, you can see Webb. He's not happy with the decision of our official, Cal Smith. Threw the ball in his direction. We don't want to see that kind of thing. You'd think that a referee with as much experience as Smith says, that's enough, that's a warning or something at least.
Yeah, you think he would be jumping right on top of that, so it's a bit surprising from Cal Smith with his pedigree, but we'll see if he takes control here if anything else happens.
Webb does have another timeout remaining. It's 13-10. Connell slipped, managed to recover, and you can see Webb limping up the front. That's a point for Connell. This little timeout might help Webb more than it helps Connell. Webb obviously distraught at that call. loses a couple of quick points, needs to really compose himself and focus on the next point rather than I was supposedly cheated out of a call.
Especially with a player like Connell who loves to play fast. He loves to play at a high tempo. So anything that slows the pace of the game down usually works against him.
So examples, maybe putting up your racket on second serve and things like that.
Absolutely.
Great gets from Webb. Oh, wow, great shot. Worked really hard to stay in that point.
Yeah, and he actually moved fairly well on a couple of those, regardless of the ankles. So maybe it's starting to warm up here a bit, and he's starting to realize, you know what, it might hurt a bit, but I can still play as close as I can to 100%.
He's still in this. 10 serving 14. Terrific serve. Gets what he wants. Puts it down. Forehand winner again. Seems to be just a consistent pattern, and if you're coaching Webb, let's not hit it to that side.
And I like that changeup from Connell too. He was hitting a ton of pinches there for winners, and he started to switch that down line to hopefully finish off the game and throw something different at Webb.
Well, that time Connell blames his glove, but he puts it in the floor, and it's another side out and another game point saved.
I think he saw that finish line there, and his eyes got real big on that setup, but he went for a very low percentage, very aggressive shot.
Surely a replay. You could see Webb was hindered. Looks like Connell stopped play to allow a replay.
Yeah, I'm surprised too that referee Cal Smith didn't call that one, but nice to see Connell giving the replay to his opponent.
Yeah, that was good to see. It was obvious that he was holding up. Ace serve. Trevor Webb cracks it on the right. 12-14. Great game one. Cagey back and forth. Again, though, when that serve doesn't go in, when that comes off the back wall, it's almost routine that it's going to be a side out.
Yeah, anything off the back, Connell's been tough on, and that was the left side, now two in the backhand, so Webb has to keep those down or mix it up with a couple of Zeds.
Great wide angle. You see the expression of Connell. He's not happy with the back wall.
No, but I don't think that one had much to do with the back wall there. I think he's just looking for someone to blame other than himself.
And sometimes it's valuable to just say, you know what, that was a good shot. I got to move on. Somebody made a good shot. Well. Trevor Webb, not a happy man right now.
No, he wanted that free point, as we call it, on an ace to get to 13 here. Would have been a huge point to get.
Quite the character, Lee Connell.
Very animated. It's fun to watch.
Absolutely. Another game point. Wow. That time he gets it. Connell takes the first game 15-12. Players will regroup and we'll see if Webb can come back. What a first game. 40 minutes in. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Tim Baghurst joined by Mitch Braley for this round of 16 match between Trevor Webb, who's serving, and Lee Connell in the back. We've mentioned this before. You can see Webb's right ankle heavily taped. He injured it yesterday. Lee Connell in the back took the first, 15-12. Back and forth it went, but eventually Connell closed it out, Mitch.
Yeah, and he was playing, just for the most part, really clean ball. He had a ton of winners, especially like we mentioned on that right side. He was owning that right corner, that pinch switch, just some nice down lines and lanes later on, and just some really impressive, consistent racquetball from Connell.
Wow, great flick from Connell. Webb drive serving both serves. Interesting changeup.
I wonder if that's coming from his development team coach, Evan Pritchard, out there, telling him to stay aggressive and use that drive serve, hopefully draw the weak return.
Point for Connell, again on the forehand side. I love the aggressiveness of Webb of attacking that bouncing ball in the encroachment line. It's so difficult to execute, which is why so few people attempt it.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely has changed his game plan a bit here the first couple of points. This second game, he's drove for two serves, he's cut off ball, so I think he's really trying to bring the pressure and the heat to Connell here, dictate the play.
Really unusual swing Connell has.
It is. He almost seems to push the ball a lot of times and take it really deep in his stance, something that most players don't do. It seems to be unconventional, but he's done it for so long and been so effective with it that it does work for him, and he makes some shots that other players can't with that type of swing.
Well, an ace serve for Webb. Yeah, it's one of those examples of if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of different body types, a lot of different ways to swing. There is a textbook swing for sure that works, but he's obviously been a successful player. He's top 10 in Canada, so yeah, well, why change it at this point, right?
A wet ball called on that serve. It'll be a replay. Another good serve from Webb. And soft hands. Forehand pinch winner. Different start to the second game. 4-1, Webb in the lead.
Definitely the start he needs after dropping that first game.
Well, you can see Connell's the one starting to get frustrated. You can see Webb, he seems a little bit more intent. Really, as you said, being a little more aggressive. Connell's the one who's starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, he definitely lost some, I think he lost some composure there in that later phase of that first game. So he's come out here with a new focus, new game plan, and it's working well so far.
An example of the difference between game 1 and game 2 in 2 minutes.
It's, crazy how much 2 minutes it can make a difference and change the flow of the momentum in a match.
Good shot that time. Flick of the wrist from Connell, 6-1. Another forehand winner, Connell. Connell's hit that Z serve over to the right pretty consistently this match. Seems to be a game plan of his.
Yeah, and he hits it from quite a bit further over to the right than most players do, so this gives it a bit of a different angle and spin than you typically tend to see from other players.
And all of a sudden, it's 4 serving 6. 3 points in a row for Connell. Timeout on the court taken by Webb. He was up 6-1. He takes a timeout. Has a discussion with his father, Adrian Webb, the tournament director. Appreciate everybody who's helped to make this event great. We have officials. We have those volunteering. We have so many people involved to make this a great event, and it truly has been a lot of fun and great, friendly, fair competition.
Oh, it's been fantastic so far. Super well run. The viewing's great. The food, the breakfast, the hospitality, everything has really come together really nicely this week.
Well, we appreciate all of you watching on as well as we provide coverage of these national championships. The volume rises around us during the timeout. It shows the intensity of this match. Everybody gets quiet as soon as they start.
Yeah, it's been a great match, a great show for the fans, the audience here. So, they just want to be quiet, out of respect to the players, but they're just as focused on every single point, every single shot that the players are.
So we'll see whether the timeout works. More often than not, it does. See if Webb can break this momentum. Connell, very streaky player. That's a terrific shot down the line. Smart timeout from Webb, got what he wanted, which was a side out. So the 1 and 2 seeds will be playing later this evening. If they advance, here's how it will look. Samuel Murray will be facing Curtis Cullen. We saw his match earlier, just firing bombs on his service. It was incredible. James Landeryu will face Pedro Castro. That's a 5 seed versus a 4 seed. Tim Landeryu will be against Nicolas Bousquet. And the winner of this will face Iwasa should he advance. Four serving 6. That time Connell tried to slide one left.
Yeah, I think, you know what, just short there, but a good change-up to keep Webb off balance and looking for something different.
Great pickup. And Webb skipped it. Credit the defense of the number 7 seed.
Yeah, and Webb a little bit, I mean, he does have a very smooth swing. He's a very smooth, effective player out there, but that was a bit of a casual swing there. I think he could have used a little bit more focus and really buried that ball.
Wow. There's a swing for you.
As soon as I say that, makes the adjustment, makes a great shot to get back in the service box.
Mitch Braley making some brave predictions. We'll see if the next one comes true. We're enjoying it here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Hope you're enjoying the entertainment wherever you are. Great shot again. We'll have a towel timeout. While we do, there's my brave prediction.
Looks to be, yeah, it looks to be accurate.
While we do, let's check out the women's draw. Jen Saunders, as the number 1 seed, earned a bye into the quarterfinals. She'll face Cassie Prentice this evening at 7 p.m. That's for a place in the semis, where the winner will be up against Michelle Morissette. She advanced over Danielle Drury earlier today. 7-5's the score. I don't know what Connell's saying.
I think he's saying that it was a good serve. Give him 2 serves.
Well, if it was a good serve, why not give him the point, or was it returned? Either way, doesn't matter. Connell, another forehand winner. Side out. Side out. Backhand winner from Webb. 7-5. Back and forth we go. Forehand again. How many times have we said that this match?
Almost getting too many to count. He's even starting to run over and take a forehand instead of his backhand, which is, you know, working well. It's seems to be the stronger side for him, and he's not missing a lot.
And we see it in tennis a lot, where somebody will run over to hit the forehand when they traditionally should hit the backhand because it's working. You can see it here for Connell. Wow. Perfect forehand pinch. 6 serving 7. Connell, Webb pulled up on that last shot. Connell hit under him while Webb jumped. Another point for Connell, 7-7. Rare skip from Webb gives Connell the lead. Another point or two, and I expect that second timeout to come. Well, speaking of timeouts, it's taken by Webb as we predicted. Let's go back to the women's division. We mentioned that the winner of Saunders Prentice will play Morissette in the top half of the bracket. In the bottom, Aaron Gearhart overcame the 3 seed Alexis Iwasa, 15-11, 2-15, and then 11-9. And quite a pulsating match this morning, which we streamed. And we're waiting for our last match of the day. Richardson and Bovin. Got it right. Thank goodness. The winner of that will advance to play Gearhart. So we're down to 6 players there. If you're interested, you can, of course, catch these draws on R2 Sports or Racquetball Canada's website. This is the first day of singles. We had 3 days of doubles. Lots of matches we've streamed this week, and we continue tomorrow. Men's quarterfinals, women's semifinals. So here we go. Nine serving 7 is the score. Just a mistake from Webb. It was a good serve over to the right side. Connell consistently hitting that serve. 10-7. That time, though, it came out. Webb punished him.
And I think this is a crucial point in the match for him. I mean, this is where Connell can either run away with it, score a few more, and look like he's going to close this match out, or Webb can play tough, make a good shot like he just did there, and get right back in this second game.
Oh my goodness, horrible bounce off the back wall. Webb completely mistimes it. Side out. We crossed the hour mark, 10-7, game number 2. Well, little frustration from Webb. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, and again, a little surprised Cal Smith isn't at least giving him a warning just to make sure he stays under control and isn't smacking the ball around between points.
Well, even there, hitting the ball after the rally. There's the first double fault. We mentioned that he was drive serving on both serves, and that's the first time he's sided out with that.
Yeah, of course, that's the risk you take going aggressive with those two drive serves. He's consistent with it, so he's got to be aggressive. But I'd like to see him hit a lob serve and be a little bit more consistent and high percentage now that he's down here.
Well, it's 12-7. You feel like he's just going for broke right now. Terrific forehand again from Connell. Really you have to credit that shot in particular for why he's up one game and 13-7.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, you're running back from the service box, almost full tilt, balls behind you on the run, and to be able to pull that down the line like he did it's an impressive shot.
Well, slides it down the left. Webb probably looking right, given the number of serves over to that side. Brings up match point, 14-7. Wow, so casual. Just rolls it. Side out, 7-14. You just feel Webb's angry right now. Just frustrated with the whole situation. I've trained for this. I spent so much time on the practice court, so much time in the gym, and then I go and get hurt during a match, and my whole singles plan is just disrupted.
Yeah, I mean, he's down by 7 here. You're never, down and out till that 15th point score, but it's, hard to see him recomposing himself and coming back to win this and force a tiebreaker.
Connell with the opportunity. Puts it down the right side. Connell, the 7th seed, wins it 2 straight over Webb, the 10th seed. You could see that it was 7-7 in game number 2, and then Connell just took it apart, took 8 unanswered points in that second game.
Yeah, and you can see the look on Webb's face as it all. I mean, I know he's trained so hard for this moment in this event in particular. It's our biggest tournament here in Canada, so definitely going to be disappointed. But the ankle injury, very unfortunate. But he's still young, and I think if he can take a lot away from this match, he still has a bright future ahead of him, and he can just see it as a small speed bump in his overall racquetball career.